ball, suckers.
All ball reaction. We got some things to talk about around this league. Speaking of big dogs. Oh, ball. We back, baby Bubba. We're a little surprised. We was shitting on the Max Kellerman Rich Paul show. I don't know what the hell it's called. But
Thing
Max,
called game over or something.
I'd rather not even know. But Max Kellerman showed his New York roots. Oh, yeah. He showed you where he's from. Told Rich Paul to his face about his boy LeBron. Dream was pro in the mix. You know who that guy is. Heavy job. He gets right to it.
Okay, excellent. So what we want to do is we want to play the sound for you guys. Listen to it carefully. And we're going to come back and react to what Max had to say to Rich Paul. Take a listen to that there.
That gets to the game the other night, right? It was be hard for me to imagine on a Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra team. You're getting blown out. Like I'm going back to the streak now of consecutive double-digit scoring games for LeBron. And the streak's on the line, and they're getting blown out.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix, right? Was it Phoenix? Was it the Phoenix game? This is already 2 games ago.
Yeah, I think I didn't watch the game.
Okay.
I think it was, yeah.
And JJ Redick is visibly mad. Who, by the way, JJ's done an incredible job coaching this team because through injury to LeBron, to Luka, doesn't matter who it is, they still win.
Do you think they're contenders?
We'll get to that in a second. You mean because playoffs are different than the regular season. But LeBron is joking around with dudes on the Phoenix bench and on the court. And as a fan, before I even see JJ's reaction, I'm thinking, LeBron, what are you doing? That's a bad look. You're getting blown out. And then you're still in the game, even though you're getting blown out. And then you take a 3 to keep the streak alive in a blowout. Man, that's some right? And JJ's pissed. You can see he's pissed. But then in the very next game, I think like that was the fact that JJ handled it this way, and maybe this bodes well for the Lakers and the culture you're talking about. He was clearly not happy with LeBron. And the very next game, with the streak still on the line, LeBron makes the right basketball play and passes it to Hachimura.
Yeah.
And Hachimura buries the shot and they win the game.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be, and then LeBron balled out in his next game. And that seemed to me, you could maybe identify if this works out for the Lakers and that they at least make a little run in the playoffs, however it ends up, you could identify that moment where JJ is establishing a culture even to LeBron James, and where LeBron makes amends, because it felt to me watching the Phoenix game that he was making amends for the previous game. Not the Phoenix game, the next game, where he's making amends and passing the ball and ending the streak by making the right play to Hachimura, almost to make up for his behavior in the previous game.
Well, I don't know if it's to make up, because I don't think he needs to make up, but I know what you're saying. It's 2 things. JJ was pissed, right? But this guy had been in the league for 23 years.
Yeah.
He knows if he did something that wasn't right, but those 2 things aren't the most important thing in that situation. The most important thing in that situation is to be LeBron and be open-minded to do what? Allow yourself to be reprimanded.
That's disciplined. Right.
Yeah. And now the next game you make which he got criticized for making that same play to Korver, to Daniel Marshall, to Mo Williams or whoever else, right?
Whoever else.
Same play. We can go back and look at the tape.
Right. He didn't want to shoot it. Yeah.
Yeah, same play. I mean, I thought the streak was a little overrated anyway.
Then why is he taking a 3 at the end of a blowout if it's overrated?
Why is he taking
it? It seems like he didn't think it was. This is what it felt like. Rich, from where I'm sitting, you're the right guy to ask, but from where I'm sitting, it felt to me like LeBron realized after that, oh, up. Like he keeps a streak alive. That's whatever, but it's like this very long streak by shooting a 3 in a blowout at the end of a game. It felt intentional. And the very next game, you're telling me that calculus doesn't occur to him? He's not doing the calculation in his mind. Like, I got to kind of.
Well, listen, he could reprimand himself, of course.
Right.
Like I said, I wasn't watching that game. I didn't see that game. But yeah, whatever it looked like and felt like, obviously the media talked about it. They didn't talk about the right play. I tell you that. I didn't see the guys that was whatever. But yeah, I think, look, those guys at that level, you know when you did something that probably you
So is it coincidence that JJ does that? He makes the right play the next game, then he goes for what, 29 and whatever it was the other night?
Yeah.
In a win?
I don't know if it's coincidence, but me personally,
These niggas giving
and
me a
he'll
headache,
tell you
bro.
this. I always like when he chooses efficiency over entertainment.
Okay, explain.
So you heard what Max Kellerman had to say.
Okay, shout out Dreamers Pro. Can we get a straight answer from Rich Paul, the hustler? Is he up there hustling us? Can we get a fucking straight answer? Hustler?
He reprimanded
Hustler the
himself.
hustler the hustler? Yeah, I roll dice too, nigga. But I'm gonna give you a straight fucking answer every time. You nigga just gave me a headache. That ring around the rosy, like, listen, man. We gotta stop being afraid and scared and tap dancing around when it's time to talk about LeBron James. He's stat padding, man. Simple and plain. Max Kellerman, stop being scared. You from New York, nigga. Ask the question straight up. How do you feel about your man being in the game in a blowout? 40 years old, in the league 23 years. Why are you in the game in a blowout when you could risk being injured? At this stage, should LeBron only be worried about playing for championships? He ain't worried about that. He's stat padding. That's just what it is. Come on, man. He probably didn't even know he had 8 when he passed the ball to Hachimura. How about that one? Yeah, that's where I'm going. He probably ain't know he had 8. So for me, listen, man, Rich Paul, man, slick, smooth dude, man. Listen, he know how to dance and tap dance and Sammy Davis Jr. that thing. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I believe he a hustler because he hustled that answer around everybody. But for me, listen, man, we just it's in our face. Like I said, man, the guy celebrates, and it's just like, yo, bro, what's gonna happen if y'all don't win a championship? What are we gonna say about LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves, and JJ Redick? I thought that's what great players do. Play for championships. Where are those questions at, Max Kellerman? That's all I want to know. Why is LeBron James still in the league? Is he still trying to play for championships? Or what's the purpose? Are you still in love with the game? Or are you trying to stat pad? Which one is it? If we ain't playing for championships, what are we doing? So for me, listen, this Max Kellerman, Rich Paul thing, that little video gave me a goddamn headache because I ain't know what Max Kellerman was trying to say, and then Rich Paul tap dancing around the question. But at the end of the day, they are setting up the excuse for LeBron James if the Lakers don't win a championship. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that 100% this podcast is to set up an excuse for if the Lakers don't win a championship and they flame out in the playoffs. I guarantee that. I ain't got no money, but I'll put it all on that. My little negative $4 in my account, we can bet that. We can bet that. Guarantee. So for me, listen, man, these two dudes, I don't know who y'all think y'all hustling. You ain't gonna hustle a hustler though. I see through you niggas, man. But yeah, Fabian, that little spat, them niggas start giving me a headache, man. Playing ring around the rosy. Get out of here. I ain't watched the game, but you can break down the game. Right. Your best friend, your client, the GOAT, you don't watch every time he play? Who is these niggas fooling, bro? Fabian, who are they fooling? You ain't watched the game? You don't know it's a streak?
Tori B just wants to know when is the next CeeLo game on, ball.
Tell I keep you posted, Tori B. We trying to find a safe location.
I love that Max Kellerman at least tried to set this up because we heard in real time how LeBron James and Rich Paul are sabotaging the Lakers continuously. What do you mean? 1 minute he's open to being disciplined, and being reprimanded, the next minute he reprimands himself. This is disgusting. JJ Redick, again, I blame you. Rich Paul is speaking to, or he spoke to in another video, yo, there was a culture in Miami. He keeps saying it. He keeps referencing how he doesn't respect the Lakers. He doesn't respect JJ Redick. He doesn't respect the new owners. He doesn't respect anybody. At least when we talk, I'm pretty sure at the negotiation table, they'll make him feel like they have to be respected. No way possible the Lakers are going to re-sign LeBron James. Not happening. Rich Paul saying he ain't going nowhere. You got the no trade clause. You negotiated for that. Kudos to y'all. But these are things that a young JJ Redick in his coaching career is going to have to understand. This is part of what everyone was speaking to when they say you ain't got the experience. We see it in real time. The star player, superstar player, legendary player is a third option. Austin Reeves, and athletic guys out there with the Lakers, you can't solve them because Austin Reeves got cooked by the Spurs. He's out for a week now because he hurt his ankle somehow. Against them big boys, them real boys in San Antonio. They ain't playing no games. Where was the LeBron leadership in that? Why is he coming back and trying to show up the Luka Doncic show? That's what this is supposed to be. It's like if you had an old guy, an old vet on your team, Shaq, whoever it is, they're not gonna go try to outshine you and you the phenom of the league. That's what Luka Doncic is supposed to be. I never felt, I still haven't felt like this is Luka's team yet. Since when do you trade for an MVP candidate and you feel like that ain't their team? I really feel like I thought I was in disbelief that he's a Laker, but I just don't feel like he's a Laker. Whether it's the moment, the game,
It still don't feel right. I agree.
and he's playing great. He's putting up the numbers. I don't know if his stat pattern. They were down by 20. He was trying to hit layups against the Spurs. The game was over. It was nothing to do about them dudes. But part of this has to be we see it on the court, bro. I said the other day, you were hyped when you got Timothy Mozgov. You telling me you're not hyped to play with Luka? We could tell Rich Paul talking like this, wanting to be in the spotlight. To your point, being a podcast now to control the narrative of what it is. And you know, I give him his props. Go conversation. People don't want to argue LeBron is the best of all time. He earned the right for you to argue that. But these are the things we talk about when we say Mike wouldn't do that. Kareem wouldn't give a flying you know what about any of these things. He didn't talk to the media. He regretted that later on in his life, but he didn't play these games. He thought a lot of this stuff was, and Kareem don't like LeBron not even on the low. It's kind of known. Yeah, he showed up, showed some class when you broke the record, the scoring record. Yeah, but I could tell Kareem, he feels like us, man. He feels like us. You're a diva. You still act like one, and you're a third option. And you're a third option with a coach talking about you can reprimand yourself once again. Talking about the kowtow business. The Lakers ain't got to kowtow to nobody. Yes, you do. You're supposed to kowtow to the MVP of your team. You're supposed to kowtow and surround that player with the pieces that would allow you to go and be more successful and polish Luka Doncic's game, who's continuing to bitch and moan to the officials, sit and cry about fouls. He's still old Luka. He's still bad Luka in that, like, from that commercial. Rich Paul is nasty. LeBron is nasty. AJ Redick, you showing your chump juice, bro. And I said it before. That's one thing Flea doesn't understand. If you're gonna go to ESPN and go toe to toe with Stephen A. Smith, he's the big wig at ESPN. You had no problem. You saw what happened to Max Kellerman. But you had no problems going at Stephen A. Smith then. You weren't worried about your job then because you knew it meant more money and you believed in yourself then. You had no problem going at Kendrick Perkins about when he was dead wrong, but you had no problems talking about a racial debate about the MVP. You had no. That's a big thing. That's a big deal to talk about. That's when I get confused. That's when I get confused. Why do you choose to back down with LeBron? This is my thing with, and you know I love JJ Redick, bro, but you cannot. His agent is on here talking about he can reprimand himself. They're telling you they don't respect you. You have to make them respect you, and if they don't, you got to figure a way to bench him, do something to show them, yo, bro, this ain't your show anymore. You don't get it, all right? No problem. Your son's not going to be Lou Dort or Davion Mitchell, like you said, JJ Redick, you co-sign that. Now you got to go back, watch the film, like you should be doing, like you normally do. Very eloquent individual JJ Redick is. You got to cut all extra shit off. Like Max Kellerman was talking too much right now. Yo, you got to be live and direct with LeBron. This is for your legacy. LeBron ain't worried about your legacy. He's worried about his own.
Listen, man, I've been saying it for years now. People used to laugh at me. They used to think I was trolling. I said 2 seasons ago, retire, bro. Like, he is purposely trying to sabotage the Lakers because he's not getting his way. He wasn't injured. He probably said, let me sit out and see what they can do and how they can look without me because he's used to everybody needing him. But think about it. They were playing great without LeBron James. And he said, hold up, let me come back because this thing is looking a little too good. To me, we have to be honest. He's sabotaging them. No extension. You trade for a guy like Luka, which anybody would love, but like I've been telling you and Flea for how long now, he will never give up the keys. When you've been like this your whole life, you're never going to give it up. It's like a lion that's been the lead of the pack forever, and then you get the new young lions that come in. Bro, he's not going to run it hot. He's going to go out on his shield. And that's what LeBron is attempting to do. But to me, it's backfiring because at the end of the day, how many times are we now just going to be unsuccessful in the playoffs? And then how many excuses are we going to continue to have for LeBron James and the Lakers? We don't have this excuse for nobody else. Like I say, I told y'all this. When you get a guy like Luka, you have Austin Reeves now playing at a high level, and you have the GOAT, how is it not championship aspirations? How is this not a championship contending team? No. So for me, these guys are trying to control a narrative, which they've been trying to do forever. But it doesn't work when it comes to real basketball heads. Everybody else that's fanned out, listen, they're going to be fanned out. But listen, Rich Paul is trying to do damage control, and he's trying to get ahead of the curve because he knows, boy, listen, if you niggas lose in the first or second round again, LeBron James' legacy is going to continue to keep taking a hit. And the only thing they're going to be able to hang on is stats. Stats. That's all they had to hang on is stats. Because it ain't gonna be championships. It ain't gonna be none of that other stuff. It's gonna be stats. And I've said it a while ago. LeBron James as a Laker has been a failure. I don't care what nobody say. LeBron James as a Laker has been a failure. A failure. And that's the question that Max needs to ask Rich Paul. How do you feel LeBron James as a Laker? Is it a failure or is it a success? And let's hear how he answered that shit. Come on, bro. Since you've been there, no MVPs, no scoring titles. Yeah, you have one championship who everybody puts an asterisk next to. How many times you missed the playoffs, knocked out in the first round, swept? Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. Like, how long are we going to be able to just not see the truth and tell the truth? Listen, this man he's been getting his way since probably the age of 14, 15. And now the first time in his life, he's not getting his way. And it seems like the NBA is going to be doing just fine once he retires. And I don't think he's happy with that. He wants to be the guy. I told you, he's Thanos. He's Thanos. I'm sorry. He is. He is. But listen, man, enough is enough. And I don't think, what Rich Paul and Max Kellerman trying to do with this podcast. Listen, I don't think nobody's going to believe this bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't see no difference than when LeBron had his podcast or the attempt with JJ Redick and then with Steve Nash and then the barbershop. Bro, all that shit is manufactured. It's not real. It's not authentic. And for me, like I said, Rich Paul is trying to help his friend to get ahead of the curve. And I can't knock nobody for helping their friend. But when you get called out on it and when it backfires, you got to eat that. You got to eat that. And that's what's going to happen because right now, OKC and Denver, Houston, yeah, the Lakers are having a good season. But like I said, what happens if the Lakers flame out in the playoffs? What excuse are we going to hear again? Listen, enough is enough. God willing, this is his last year. We ain't got to see this shit or discuss this shit no more. Real talk.
You did speak about, or Rich Paul spoke to, how the Lakers really aren't ready for a title, not really title contenders, and just that kind of language is it seems to sound like you're giving up. And you spoke about that offline. Like, yo, why does everybody feel like they got to give up, or they're not showing, any real competitive spirit just because OKC's a juggernaut? We've seen Golden
Right.
State get hurt. We've seen 73-9, but they almost lost to Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs. Well, that the season they got Kevin Durant. And what are your thoughts about that? Touch on that. We'll elaborate. What do you think about the league just conceding, waving the white flag to OKC? It feels like.
It's sad because I've said it on numerous occasions. We need to slow down on the OKC juggernaut thing. Yeah, I use that word loosely, but let's not forget OKC last season was taking the Game 7 in the second round against the Denver Nuggets, and that Denver Nuggets roster was not great, and they was pushed to Game 7, and then we see in the finals they were pushed to a Game 7 against the Indiana Pacers, who nobody gave them a chance. Everybody said Indiana may win one game, including me, and we were all dead wrong. And if Halliburton doesn't go down, are we talking about OKC? How we talking about them now? So for everybody to just automatically, just anoint OKC the greatest team ever, it's insane. And for guys like Rich Paul and the Lakers organization and LeBron James to agree that you're not championship contention team when you have Luka Doncic on your team, what does that say about Luka? I don't understand why everybody needs so much help to win today. I just don't get it. It's never enough help. It just never is. Like I said, I don't see Denver complaining. Indiana didn't complain. It comes down to coaching and your guys fighting. That's why I say you can't call yourself the GOAT. But I don't get why everybody just automatically giving OKC the championship. Like I said, if we gonna talk about asterisks, nigga, they got an asterisk next to their shit. Nigga, Halliburton got injured. Bruised Achilles in the first quarter when he hit 3 threes. It was looking like they was gonna beat OKC in the NBA Finals on their home floor in a Game 7. Come on. So for me, like I said, I don't believe the OKC hype yet. The job hasn't been done yet. Like I said, the Jordan Bulls, 72-10, they went out and won a championship. Golden State Warriors, 73-9, they lost in the championship, being up 3-1. The New England Patriots, 16-0, perfect season, won all their playoff games, got to the Super Bowl and lost. So I don't care if OKC goes 80-2. If you don't win the championship, it doesn't matter. So for guys to just automatically give up, a la the Lakers and Rich Paul, what does that say about your guy? What does that say about the players on that team? Listen, man, it's this NBA today, this generation, from all aspects, from the commissioner to podcast to us as fans to the players, it's weird. It's just weird. But for me, like I said, man, I wouldn't even allow Rich Paul to say that if I'm LeBron James. Every time I'm on the court, I'm championship contention. Especially if you give me my right-hand man in a Luka Doncic, who we all know is an MVP candidate every year, a top 3 player every year, in his prime. So for me, listen, it's just they're not ready to give up. It's like Muhammad Ali, bro. God rest his soul. It's like Jordan with the Wizards, bro. It's over. The league is in good hands. These young players, listen, the league is doing its thing. When LeBron retired, the Lakers got Luka. They gotta have some cap space, make some moves. They'll be right back in action. But for LeBron James to allow Rich Paul, to say those things, nah, I wouldn't even allow him to say that. No, no. Even if we feel like that, no. As long as I'm a Laker and I got somebody with me, nigga, we championship contention. So for me, it's comical, bro. But this is what people gonna run with. Because like I said, it's more fandoms than just real basketball talk.
And Rich Paul, LeBron, famously got connected with CAA, which is Leon Rose's old agency, and they call the CAA niggas La Cosa Rosa for a reason. Rich Paul apparently snaked them, and there was a beef. They had to settle it and go sit down and talk to Leon Rose and them when they came to New York. There was an embargo, or they were stopping players from coming to the Knicks. Rich Paul was, because of the so-called beef, all because you didn't do the right thing, all because y'all move so clumsy when it comes to that. And this is part of moving clumsy. I don't care what the realistic odds are. I don't care what Vegas is saying. You aren't supposed to talk like that. Words are powerful. These thoughts are powerful. I would, if like, you're right. That is what factors into being a GOAT. How are you gonna say Muhammad Ali was going crazy? The GOAT really comes from him. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest of all time. Why do you think he felt that way? What do you think it means to say that? Why do you think it is polarizing when we hear that? You think, are you the GOAT? Calling yourself the GOAT? You putting a target on your back when you say that. You're putting a target on the back of your son when you bring him in that way. That's what that is. It's the hype. The hype ain't just all, yeah, you could play. No, it's this competitiveness that we can sense. And words like this, they don't make sense. Yeah, OKC is a juggernaut, but I'm glad that the New York Knicks got what they got. They are the antithesis of whatever Rich Paul's talking about right now. These guys don't talk like that. Jalen Brunson don't talk like that. He looks like he never backs down. He has to physically get back down because he's smaller, but they don't speak this way. And the way this organization is being ran, and the way I'm hearing the Los Angeles are being ran, and the Clippers are being ran, Jesus Christ, I'm just so glad that for once we have a competent organization. And a part of that is remaining competitive. Our general manager, president of basketball operations, our coach from top to bottom. We got a shooting coach. We just talked about that earlier. Went and hired him, and Josh Hart is competitive. The rumors are trying to get Dante DiVincenzo back. Competitor. That's what it means to go try to compete. Don't matter if it's OKC. Doesn't matter. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. You're supposed to go out there and make it that way. You're supposed to go out there and give yourself a shot so that you say, all right, we're not favored. We know they're more talented than us, but that's what the movies are for. You think there's a lot of real life movies based on reality. From Rudy, games like this, and they have nowhere near the talent of LeBron James. And even with the Clippers situation that we haven't really stressed enough, awful. Kawhi Leonard and them, just the super team thing has been a complete failure. And should they feel this way because OKC's rocking like this? Nah, hell no. Because to your point, I was saying that last year. I can't believe Halliburton. This is a coming out party. That you think Halliburton thinks like that? Nah, he plays the villain. He does whatever it takes. What's up with anybody playing the villain? How come nobody wants to play the villain to OKC in the league? And I haven't heard the Knicks talk like that about the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's only been Rich Paul as an agent. Everybody else glazing him on the media. Stephen A. Smith said the league is boring now and he wants to give up. How are you talking like that? You from New York. Everything's about a show.
See, for me, everybody's contradicting themselves because I thought nobody cared about the regular season. I talk real basketball. Where is the real basketball talk? Where's people going, let's slow down with the OKC Thunder? Because, like I said, last season, they went 7 games with Denver, and Doka ain't really have no help like he has now. And then in the NBA Finals, as much of a juggernaut OKC was, we all thought sweet, 5 games maximum. We were in a game 7 where the OKC Thunder were being outplayed and outcoached. And if Halliburton doesn't go down, I'm 95% sure the Indiana Pacers would have been champions and beat the OKC Thunder. So how do we just ignore that? How do we just ignore that? And then now you have the Houston Rockets upgrade with Kevin Durant. Like I said, Denver made some adjustments. In the East, you have the Knicks and Detroit, who are some tough teams, well coached. So how are we just automatically just expecting OKC to just run through everybody? Once again, this is what Max Kellerman was trying to break down with Stephen A. Smith with their little beef. There's no breakdown of the game no more. It's just fluff. So for me, it's sad to see everybody just bow down to the OKC Thunder when all they're doing is just winning regular season basketball games. And like I said, we've seen this before. Chicago Bulls done it. The Golden State Warriors done it. Now OKC has an opportunity to do something historic, yes, but it doesn't matter if you don't win the big game, and that's hoisting up that trophy in the NBA Finals. So for me to watch everybody just concede and just bow down to the OKC Thunder, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling, but I can't wait to see them go through a stretch of just playing some of the top teams and just to see how competitive and how good those games are when they play against us in Detroit and Houston, Denver a couple times. I want to see the Lakers fully healthy go up against them. But for me, it makes the NBA bad because that's where it's bad from that standpoint. It's just everybody just now all of a sudden, throw away the regular season. Y'all don't care about it anyway. So why are we even going crazy? Who cares? If they go 80-2, who cares? We know the playoffs is about matchups and coaching. Rick Carlisle proved to y'all. Coaching matters in the playoffs. Coaching matters in the playoffs. So for me, it's hysterical to watch people look at OKC and just automatically get shook. We ain't shook over here. We want that smoke. I want all the smoke. All the smoke. All ball suckers.